What a game. We will never forget this. Hopefully with joy in our hearts. 9 seconds left. Eagles by 8. Brady lines them up. He's back again. He steps up. He's hit. He stumbles. He is throwing it deep for the end zone, and it is batted around and incomplete. And the game is over. The game is over. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and welcome to the newest episode of the Realistic Rebuilds. Bet you're surprised that we're doing the Eagles already. It's because last year in Madden 18, we did like all of like the really rebuildy teams early, and then we were left with just all these really good teams at the very end. And it wasn't very fun for me because, you know, we lost a lot and had to do a lot of frustrating rebuilds, the tough rebuilds in the beginning. I mean, we weren't necessarily winning the Super Bowl, and then at the end, we just kind of kicked our feet up because we had really good rosters. So now that we've upped the upload schedule, you know, you're getting more than just one of these a week, I figured why not mix in some of the good teams, and why not do my favorite team, which I really, first and foremost, as we have a ghost of a head coach. Oh, Madden. Floating phones. Okay, that's awesome. Not only do I want to find a way to play at the Eagles, because I'm not doing the Eagles for my Madden franchise mode, we're doing the Toronto Huskies, which should be starting within the next couple days, fingers crossed. So I want to play with the Eagles, man. They won the Super Bowl. They're finally a really overpowered roster. So that is what, you know, a big reason why I want to do them. Plus, you know, let's be honest, they're already a Super Bowl caliber team. So this is going to be a different style of a realistic rebuild. This rebuild is not going to be building a roster into a Super Bowl champion. This is going to be a rebuild of maintaining a Super Bowl champion roster. So we have, when you look at the offensive side, really great offensive line. But we do have Jason Peters, who's entering he's going to retire. He's probably going to retire after 1 year of sim. I can't confirm that actually happens. I actually might buy the left tackle retirement influence package. But we do not have a capable replacement. So that is going to be a big hole in the offensive line that we're going to have to build up and replace. At the wide receiver spot, I mean, we got a 1 year deal here in Mike Wallace. Nelson Aguilar's contract will be coming up. So, I mean, there are, you know, we're pretty good at receiver. We got Ertz and Goddard at tight end. But, you know, there's nothing too bad there. We have our franchise quarterback. We're going to actually try, and we're going to take Nick Foles, and we're going to throw up on the trade block, see if we can get some value. What I did with the big gigantic rugby player, the 7th round pick, Jordan Mailata, 6'8", 346, is we made him fullback because why not? The running back spot, however, is pretty cloudy. Jay Ajayi is entering a contract year. Darren Sproles, I would assume, is going to retire, very much like Jason Peters. So do we re-sign Jay Ajayi? Do we look at the draft? Do we try to make Corey Clement our franchise back? Lots of options there. Wentz, we're playing this post roster update where Wentz from the base release of the game was an 86. Now he's up to an 87. Still think he should be an 88, but either way, we'll be able to get him there. When you look at the offense, though, we are 80% scheme fit. I'm not seeing a whole lot of guys outside of our running backs and Jason Kelsey that are scheme fits, and Carson Wentz is not a scheme fit for whatever reason. So what do we got? What's the vertical power run? Spread. Multiple. Oh, there we go. I feel like we're gonna go multiple zone run. We'll go to that scheme. That should be best suited. Does that give Carson Wentz the little purple indicator? It does not, but we're pretty. We'll see what happens when he gets a point. But we got to basically build this team around Carson Wentz fitting the scheme, and we're going to go definitely 90% scheme fit here. Multiple zone run, slight tweak. It's not like we're taking a team and giving them spread offense or something that they don't do. This is just a slight tweak to better help out our offense. Now, defensively speaking, I actually took a hit on our offense. Our offense was a 97. Now it's going down to a 95. But still, you know, you're really trying to be upset when you're like, oh, my God, my 95-plus offense is struggling a little bit in points. Now when you look at defense, again, there's uncertainties everywhere. The safeties are pretty old, and they have big contracts, so if we have to make contract decisions, the safeties could be the first guys on the chopping block. At linebacker, I mean, Hicks is entering a contract year, so he's going to have to play very well for us to re-sign him. On the secondary, you got Darby entering a contract year, but we do have lots of depth with Jalen Mills, 81, Rasul Douglas, 75, Sidney Jones, 77. So, but, you know, there's a decision to be made. Michael Bennett's on a 1 year deal. Even though he's super old, he's very generous, 88 overall. And then you got Brandon Graham, another guy entering a contract year. And we got Chris Long, who's awesome. He's awesome. Very short time to become one of my favorite Eagles. But he's also, 32? 33? So, I mean, there's a lot of things that could change. The more you think about it, the more you're looking at the Eagles, the more there is a future of uncertainty in some of the roster spots, at least in the realm of Madden, which makes them, for my opinion, an easy team to want to rebuild, because obviously they're the Eagles, and we're going to bump up Malcolm Jenkins here a little bit with the scheme fit. But we need to maintain. And this is not a rebuild where we need to try to make the Eagles a Super Bowl champion. No. This is a rebuild that I don't think if we win any less than 2 Super Bowls in our 5 years, it is going to be a failure. We'll still chalk it up to a win by just winning another Super Bowl, but I want at least 2. So let's get into the rebuild here, as my game is glitching out pretty hard on PC. Doug Peterson has turned off the lights. We're here in the final week of the preseason, and there it is. The moment Eagle fans all have been waiting for. Nick Foles has a trade offer, and like all Eagle fans, I think I'm taking the approach that would be accepted amongst the fan base. Nick Foles at this point sees that Carson Wentz is going to be ready for week number 1, and he wants to be a franchise quarterback elsewhere. We're going on the assumption that Nick Foles does not want to not be a member of the Eagles, but would rather start somewhere. So we're more so granting his wish than we are shipping him off. So we got couple offers here. A 3rd round pick from the Dolphins. We get a 2nd and a 6th round pick from the Bills, and a 2nd and 6th round pick from the Bengals. Interesting. At least we're all shipping them to the AFC, and you can tell the Bills in Miami saw what Nick Foles did against the Patriots, and they kind of view him as a Patriot killer. But for the sake of keeping it realistic, we're not going to ship him to Buffalo because they have Josh Allen. So now it becomes a Bengals and Dolphins scenario. Do I want a 3rd round pick now or a 2nd and a 6th round pick this year? We're going to take the Bengals offer. We're going to accept the Cincinnati Bengals. Enjoy Nick Foles. Definitely better than Andy Dalton. So to open up year 1, our season goal is going to be very simple. It is going to be coming off a Super Bowl win. I definitely want to reach the conference championship. We're not going to make it back-to-back Super Bowls. That is just way too lofty, even though I think this is, you got to think about this from a realistic standpoint, not as a fan. So we're going to make it reach the conference championship game, as Doug Peterson, the ghost, is looking, he's wheeling and dealing right now with that iPhone. Roster stays the same, man. Now with Carson Wentz gone, we're going with Nate Sudfeld. It's a Nate Sudfeld era. But more so, we're going to want Carson Wentz to develop. So right now, pretty much the only goal on offense is to get Lane Johnson, Zach Ertz, to get our players scheme fit ready. That's pretty much all we need to do. Defensively, stays pretty much the same, but we're not too bad. Our linebackers are looking nice. We got a lot more guys on the defensive side that fit the scheme than we do on the offensive side. So we have Darby here that we're actually hopefully going to be able to get him into a scheme fit, which we did. Just with this one upgrade, we have made Darby a scheme fit, so that is good long term. Now let's get into week 1 against the Atlanta Falcons. Mid-season of year 1, we're 6-1. Jags struggling 3-4. I'm not gonna tell you right now. The only thing that I've noticed is Wentz is not developing for whatever reason. He's just not going as fast. Our team's doing well, but 6-1, still really good. I think Wentz, let's just get a quick look. Like, Wentz is top of the league, 2nd in passing yards and stuff. I'm just noticing he's not developing as fast as I would have thought. But we are first in the NFC East. Redskins 4-2, trying to make it somewhat of a race. As we get ready to take on the Redskins, scouting players, I'll kind of give you guys my short list so far. Not a lot of holes for the Philadelphia Eagles, so we're more so checking all the boxes. Running backs, just in case we can't negotiate J.J. Wide receiver could be nice because Mike Wallace is not a long-term option. Left tackle, Greg Little would probably be our ideal first-round pick, but I don't think he'll be there whenever we select. We have Prince Tega Wanogo from Auburn. 4th round pick, doesn't look too bad. Don't know what his bench press is going to be. Brock Rubble at right tackle, could slide him to left tackle at that 6'8", got the ideal size. We got a couple defensive ends, high-end defensive ends in case things go south on the Brandon Graham contract negotiations. Adding a linebacker wouldn't be terrible either way, even if we can't keep Jordan Hicks. But all in all, man, we pretty much are going best player available unless we can get a top-tier tackle when it comes to the draft. So looking at contract extensions, Brandon Graham, J.J. Darby, a lot of guys here, right? There's definitely a lot of guys. So when we're talking about players we want to extend, Jordan Hicks is definitely number 1 because he's 26, he's an 82, and he is a scheme fit. Number 2, Darren Sproles, I have a soft spot in my heart for that guy. Just not going to work out for our scheme, so we're probably going to have to chalk up Darby because it's very, very difficult to get that stud corner. Now, Jay Ajayi, on the other hand, at 87 overall, 25. Now we need to start to be conscientious about our money, because I kind of want to see if we can make Corey Clement our franchise running back, and committing that much money to JJ, even though he's stud, even though, we know everything about him, I kind of feel like I'm going to go Corey Clement here, and we're going to have that money elsewhere, because we can't just sign every single guy knowing that Carson Wentz is going to be getting a $100 million deal. So one of these guys has to bite the dust, and in reality, it's going to come down to Darby, or it's going to come down to JJ. Which of the two do we want? Running backs are easier to come by, so we're going to be going with Darby. So unfortunately, unless things take a turn for the worst, JJ is hitting the market. Season's end of year one. We're in the wild card, which, we're still on pace to achieve our goal. 11-5 in a wild card. That kind of sucks, but we're in the NFC. If we're in the AFC, 11-5 probably would be the number one team. So it's just a nature of the business of this conference that we're in. Our offense is up to a 97. This team's looking pretty scary. We got 2 little upgrade points here for Carson Wentz. We're going to double up here on the field general, as we can pretty much see. He's going to be a 99 overall quarterback, like he deserves to be, sooner than later, but he's chilling at a 93 with the +2 confidence boost. Looking at our stats, so we won the NFC East. NFC East was a crapshoot. I will say at one point the Dallas Cowboys were 1-7. That was pretty hilarious. Looking at our regular season stats, Wentz going off. That would be 4,400 passing yards, which would be the most passing yards in Philadelphia Eagles history for a quarterback. Same with touchdowns. Interceptions look great. Franchise, he's a stud, man. I get you, maybe if you don't think you like the Eagles, or you don't like me being a biased Eagle fan, you might be annoyed by Carson Wentz, but Don acknowledging that the future looks like he is the next superstar in the league, along with probably maybe Deshaun Watson, Jared Goff. Just pay attention. Running the ball, two-headed attack. I feel like if we commit it to Corey Clement, who we pretty much just made the starter at midseason, he would have had well over 1,000 yards, but both these guys did pretty well. But the fact that JJ wanted like a $37 million deal, and Corey Clement's on a rookie undrafted free agent deal, yeah, we gotta make some budget cuts. And I think Clement will be serviceable enough. Aguilar had a huge season, 88 catches, 1,200 yards, almost 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns, 909 from Alshon, 684 from Mike Wallace, 706 from Ertz, almost 604 from Corey Clement, which is insane. What's that put him at? That puts him at like 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, beautiful. Only thing that's disappointing is I definitely would have wanted to get Dallas Goedert a little bit more involved with the offense. There's just not a whole lot of 2 tight end sets that work well in the sim. Defensively speaking, 135 tackles, 2 sacks, and a pick from Jordan Hicks. 109 tackles, 8.5 sacks from Nigel Bradham, which is insane. 8 sacks from Barnett. Fletcher Cox got 6. Bennett got 6. Chris Long. Brandon Graham only 4.5. Okay, the tackles for loss kind of help out a little bit. That's almost like Brandon Graham's mantra, is getting lots of tackle for losses. Maybe not the most sacks, but 4.5 is low considering we did pay him decent money to re-sign him. In the secondary, Sidney Jones led the team with 3 picks, which would be nice. He was our starting slot corner this year, and a bunch of singles. Would have liked overall, though, that to be a little bit higher. Yearly awards, MVP went to Carson Wentz. There we go, baby. Got an MVP award ahead of Tom Brady. Last year, I'm going to come off like a biased homer, but last year, Wentz should have won the MVP award. But unfortunately, because of injury, I can accept that. Tom Brady got it by default. Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC went to Carson Wentz. Defensive Player of the Year went to Luke Kuechly, with Nigel Bradham coming in at number 4. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Saquon Barkley. Darius Geis. Shout out Darius Geis, man. Hopefully he can get recovered. I think he just tore his ACL, so he's going to be out for the year. That kind of sucks. Philly Brown. Oh, Madden. Oh, I tried to defend this game, but you have Philly Brown coming in on the Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's like 30 years old. We had no one that made the list. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Roquan Smith. We had no one. But all in all, we made the playoffs. That was 11-5. I think the 11-5 is a little bit more what we expect, not being like a wild card team. But because, it's year 1 of a 5-year rebuild, we are just going to sim these playoffs out. We'll do play the moments. We'll narrate it and stuff. But we're not actually going to get a lot of influence until, year 3, year 4, year 5. So let's get into this game of the wild card, hosting the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers versus Carson Wentz. Let's get it. All right, don't really feel confident, but we have the MVP. So anytime you have the MVP, you feel like you could maybe outduel Aaron Rodgers, but not off to the best start right now. But we're in the red zone. And we're going to be, this is going to be the game where we settle for field goals, isn't it? Can't convert in the red zone. Oh, we missed an extra point. That actually kind of is Philadelphia Eagle-y, because even though Jake Elliott is a clutch kicker, he's very, very inconsistent on the short kicks. Third down alert. Oh, he missed the big one there. Come on, man. Why are we settling for field goals every time? The Packers defense is not that good. That's a team, though. I'll tell you right now, the Packers are a team I'm looking forward to rebuilding when we can get there because of that young secondary. Josh Jackson, Jair Alexander, Josh Jones, Clinton Dix. We got some guys, but unfortunately, you're coming up against a monster known as Carson Wentz, and you're going to struggle when you come against Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles as they move past the Green Bay Packers in the wild card, 32-14. Wentz 312 yards, 3 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, we'll say 300 yards, 2 TDs, 59 yards for Corey Clement on the day, but we're good enough to move to the NFC Divisional. Divisional round, the Detroit Lions made the playoffs. I don't think we're going to be the team that finally signals the turnaround of the Detroit Lions Football Club. Come on, let's go. 10. Oh, yeah, there you go. They're starting to turn it over. Well, we all know Matt Stafford, though. If you're a Lions fan in this scenario, you want Detroit to be, behind in the second half so that Matt Stafford can potentially pull off some heroics, but it looks like the Philadelphia Eagles are going to just be too much. Second straight game where we put up 30 points because we're kind of irritated that we had to go the wild card route the long time. Why did we get the short, nice and sweet first round bye? But 38-20, it's not that hard. Wentz, it's pretty much, there you go, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Stafford didn't get a single one. Corey Clement, much better game, 78 yards. Aguilar, 117 yards on 8 catches. As the Eagles are once again, we're reaching our goal of reaching the NFC Championship. Now, this is a game I want. I mean, I'd rather play this one, but it's only year one. The Eagles and the Saints in the NFC Championship game, the game that wasn't last year, that could have been, minus the Minnesota Miracle. 2 prolific offenses, Wentz versus Breeze. You got Clement versus Kamara, 14-14 in the first half, pretty much playing out like we would expect. Neither team's defense is stunting, but look at that, man. Come on. Give me that cheese. They get the field goal last second. And we missed the field goal to get the go-ahead. Come on, we can't let what Alvin Kamara said where they'd whoop our ass come true. There we go. We get the go-ahead lead, but this is an absolute shooter. This is pretty much everything what the game would be in real life. Neither team particularly known for their outstanding defense. We had the 1-point lead. Can Carson Wentz? Oh, no. Defense needs to step up. Defense needs to step up. They do not. They fall flat. Big field goal, 38. Oh, you know I'm going to come in just for this one. I want to see if we can keep this game going. 61 yards. Oh, my God. 61 yards, Jake Elliott. Oh, come on. That was so close. That was so close, and they're going to get it. 41-38. Eagles losing a shootout. That comes down to the defense, man. Defense played terrible. Look at that. We can't ask much more of your quarterbacks. 5 touchdowns, 1 pick each for both of them. You have a legend. You have a future legend. We ran the ball. They did not run the ball, but you can't give up those kind of yards. 120. Look at that. Cover Ted Ginn, for God's sakes. But at least we made our job. We're still going to be really, really good. We're not going to have to worry about Drew Brees. This is going to be his last hurrah, so that pretty much sends the Saints way down to the bottom of the totem pole. So we look back to bounce back next year and win our 2nd Super Bowl. Let's get into the offseason. So nothing was going in free agency. Jay was the best available free agent, and we let him walk. Thought 1 second, maybe we could bring Des Bryant in for the clicks, but I couldn't bring myself to doing that. So we are picking at number 29 in the draft, and we wanted a left tackle, and there's not much there. We got David Edwards from Wisconsin. He's actually like a realistic target. We didn't schedule him because he's not a scheme fit. I mean, there's some good guys over here. Isaiah Prince, I do like him out of Ohio State. It's 6'6", 312. At this point, I can't remember who had a good. He had 32 bench. Ivy had 32. 30. I think most of these guys are going to have acceptable bench presses. David Edwards, 37. And Taiwo had 28. You know what? We'll go David Edwards. Go with David Edwards, left tackle out of Wisconsin. We need Jason Peters' replacement. 75. 75 is not bad. I think that's a decent starting spot for us. As, you know, you're picking that late. But now we have a 2nd-round pick here, which is the pick that we got from the Baltimore Ravens, where we could go out and look at Rodney Anderson at running back, but I think we're going to go Corey Clement as our feature, which now gives us some options to maybe look at wide receiver. We didn't scout any of them, though. We got Deebo Samuel, Juwan Johnson, 2.7 combine grades. But when you look at our team Our weakness would be right outside linebacker. So who is the top available outside linebacker? We got DeAndre Walker from Georgia. We got Tevon Coney, who is a scheme fit, but we got Cam Smith. I feel like we could move Cam Smith to right outside linebacker. I feel like we could make that move. So let's go ahead and let's draft Cam Smith, 74 out of USC, with the intentions that we can move him outside or we can move Jordan Hicks outside. Either way, I think we have some good flexibility there. And we'll just show the final pick here of the second round. Oh, my God. That's who I wanted. I wanted Aru or whatever. I'm not a butcher his name, but the dude from Penn State, because I think we could have moved him to safety. All right, so, I mean, we could get a secondary running back, but I feel like, do we need that? Or could we go wide receiver here? Because we need an eventual replacement for, I mean, strong safety. We need Malcolm Jenkins replacement would be nice. We don't really have that guy on the roster, but I feel like maybe could move a corner to that spot. If we're going Corey Clement, as that, we gotta go wide receiver, I think. Gary Jennings late. There's not, man. I'm not liking this draft. I'm not thinking where we're stuck. It's the downside of finishing kind of good, is that you kind of are getting stuck here at the bottom end, the bottom tier of players. So we got our linebacker. We're actually not bad at corner, so I think we'll just go strong safety here. We'll get Isaiah Simmons, 6'3", 225. Maybe get a guy that 72. That's not bad. Get a guy that maybe could take over for Malcolm Jenkins, so we don't have to convert maybe a Rasul Douglas or Jalen Mills to safety. So we'll finish up the rest of the draft, do a recap, and then get into year two. But three really decent picks to start things off. All right, here's going to be our full draft recap. We have no, superstar, but I think we had a very nice draft. So we got David Edwards because, no more Jason Peters, 75 with a normal dev. We got Cameron Smith, who gives us a little bit more flexibility at the linebacker spot. I don't know if I'm going to move him or Jordan Hicks to that outside spot, but either way, we have some good cover. We got Isaiah Simmons here for potential depth behind Malcolm Jenkins. Much more of the prototypical strong safety at 6'3", 225. We got Tega Wanogo, the starting left tackle from Auburn, 74, but he does have a star dev. We actually passed on him to get David Edwards in the first. He was still sitting there at the end of the third. I figured, why not? Maybe you can just slide him to tackle dev. But that is a nice little dev trait there. We got Felton Davis, wide receiver from Michigan State. Shout out to Pam Crow, 73. We got Easton Stick. Why not just have all the North Dakota State quarterbacks as our quarterbacks? We got BJ Outry here in the left, from left guard out of Jacksonville State. See, look, who says my draft class doesn't feature players from small schools? And then we got Devin Singletary from Florida Atlantic. He had 30 rushing touchdowns last year, so hopefully he can replicate that this year. But either way, I just wanted one more depth behind Corey Clement. So no superstar, no super buzzworthy name, maybe outside of Cam Smith for this draft class. But when you're the Eagles, just being able to replenish depth is key. So we stalled at the NFC Championship game last year. Let's win the Super Bowl this year. All right, so as we get ready for year two, here is how things are going to line up. We'll start on the defense. We moved Hicks from middle linebacker. We're using 83 to right outside linebacker. We get shut up to an 85, so that is now big responsibilities for Cameron Smith, our rookie from USC, but he is a scheme fit, so hopefully he develops nicely. Other than that, no real changes to the defensive front. I kind of want to, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the hit. I'm going to make Derek Barnett start because I know long-term Barnett is going to get more involved, but what I will do is we will make sure, that Michael Bennett is in on the special packages there, so he gets some snaps. Sidney Jones up to an 80. Our corners are looking pretty dang nice, if you ask me, and no real regressions. On the offensive side, this is where it looks different. Corey Clement is now our lead back. We have Pumphrey and Singletary. Pumphrey sucks, so we're gonna go Singletary there, get him some snaps. Anyway, no, nothing else has really changed. Goddard's not getting a whole lot of snaps, not surprising. Tagwell or whatever. Look at that. 76 as a tight end, but he's actually going to be our starting left tackle. First round pick. David Edwards is 75, but Tega Wanogo is 74, has a star dev versus Edwards normal, and he's a scheme fit right away. So maybe Edwards is going to have to try to play somewhere else on the offensive line. Maybe you can look at that left guard spot potentially. I don't know yet, but that is kind of the only one surprise coming out of camp. It does suck, though, now reflecting that we were unable to get Jason Peters a Super Bowl while he was actually playing. Same goes, I guess you could say, for Darren Sproles last season from our failures. So that should hopefully motivate this team to get the job done here in year two. Mid-season point of year number 2 with the, transitionary period at left tackle in particular. We're 3-3. We're sputtering a little bit, trying to get our wheels from underneath us. Oh, Cowboys 5-1. That kind of sucks. But, I mean, statistically speaking, we're not doing that bad. We've had a bunch of close losses. All 3 of those losses have been relatively close. But now this is the big thing. The big thing of year 2 is working on signing Carson Wentz. $148 million. Let's see if we can just get him on this first try here. I'd like to take in a better... Oh, my God. Okay, he wants more than that. Okay, that's great. Jenkins needs to come back. Aguilar needs to come back. Elliott. Oh, my God, it's a lot of money. I guess the good news is with Wisniewski, where he wanted, that's, a decent chunk of change. We were able to slide in David Edwards to left guard. We actually is an upgrade right now, so it didn't make a total waste of our first-round pick. But it's going to be tough trying to fit all these guys under budget. I'll do my best. Okay, so Carson Wentz said he wanted a better salary than what we were offering. I can't give him any more. I hate this game so much. Sometimes this game's ridiculous. We're just gonna have to. He wanted more salary. We gave him the max salary. Now he wants to go. We're just gonna tag him and we'll work it out. It was just. I guess it's a glitch. Maybe you can tag this and send this to your devs because that didn't make any sense. The completion of year 2 is done. And we get 11-5. We're in the wild card yet again. We're going up against the 8-8 49ers, who we rebuilt last time. And 8-8 is pretty average for them. I guess it was just a really bad NFC this year. Looking at how our team finished, we were still yet again first in the NFC East. Much closer, though. The Giants and Cowboys were competitive. Look at the stats. I guess the contract negotiations kind of affected Carson Wentz's play a little bit. Look, Easton Stick came in. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Kind of, lighting maybe a fire on the ass of Wentz, who we're going to have to franchise tag. Corey Clement as the feature back worked out well. Look at that. 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's acceptable, all things considered, because the run game in this game is pretty whack so far. Receiving, Zach Ertz on the team, 96 catches, 1,000 yards, 9 TDs. We got 1,000 yards, 8 TDs for Alshon, 504 from Aguilar, 606 from Dallas Goedert. Not going to lie, kind of cheesed it a little bit by moving Dallas Goedert into the slot spot. So our outside guys are Aguilar and Alshon. That's why Aguilar's stats suffered a teeny bit. Clement also chipped in, so that's 1,500 yards from scrimmage for him on the season. Defensively speaking, we got 116 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 picks from Jordan Hicks, 100 tackles, 2.5 sacks from Nigel Bradham. We got 17 sacks from Fletcher Cox, as well as 11 tackles for loss. Insane. We got 12 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks here from Michael Bennett, 5.5. Brandon Graham has definitely been disappointing so far. 3 picks for Malcolm Jenkins, 2 for Hicks, McLeod, and Jalen Mills. Quick look here at the yearly awards. MVP went to Baker Mayfield. With Carson Wentz, that's a downgrade from Wentz not even making that list. Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC went to Ezekiel Elliott. We had no one. Defensive Player of the Year went to Bobby Wagner. With Jordan Hicks coming in 8. 17 sacks from a D tackle gets you number 9. Oh, man. I really do wish they tweaked this a little bit. Because 17 sacks from a D tackle. Like, Aaron Donald didn't even do that, and he got Defensive Player of the Year. So, I mean, it is what it is. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Rodney Anderson, a player we passed on a couple times in the draft. Devin Singletary, our backup running back, coming in at number 5. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to DeAndre Baker, a linebacker that we decided to pass on. And Cameron Smith coming in at number 10. He didn't even develop one single point. So now looking back in retrospect, maybe not the best of drafts. At least, I feel confident that the left side of the offensive line is going to develop. But on the defensive side, maybe could have done better. But let's get into this playoff game here against the 8-8 Niners and make our quest for our second Super Bowl happen. All right, we got this. We got this. Carson Wentz contract has really kind of stifled all of the excitement, all the momentum of this season. He had a down year, which I did not expect. But hopefully we can pound out a deal after we tag him, and he'll get back to in a good mindset, wanting to dominate the football field. That was still ridiculous. So come on, man. I want more money on my contract. I gave you the most money I could possibly give you, and you want to leave. Make it at least somewhat realistic game. And look, we're struggling here against the Niners. We saw what happens when you rebuild the Niners. They're not that good. But again, I'm literally chalking up everything negative that has gone down this season to the Carson Wentz negotiations. And look, we missed the field goal. We're going to lose. We're going to get bounced. We're going to the playoffs. Maybe not. Yes, we are. They're going to get a field goal here. And we lost. We lost because Carson Wentz and Madden is stupid right now. Get me out of this shit. So this was a big make or break year because we had the Carson Wentz thing. And I'm not tagging him. I'm just not dumbing down to that game. I'm going to offer him the exact same deal that I did in free agency, and we should be able to get him. But right now, it looks pretty barren. The moves we've made, no more Michael Bennett. We got Derek Barnett as a starter. We cut Rodney McLeod, freed up $7 million in cap. We're moving Rasul Douglas from corner to free safety, where he's a 79. Which means we can not only look at bringing back Carson Wentz, which we clearly will. Tyreek Hill, baby. Give me that Tyreek Hill to pair with Alshon and Aguilar. Jeez. We got Carson Wentz. We didn't get Tyreek Hill. Could be worse. All right, here is our draft class. Still working my way on completing the full realism of my 2020 draft class. But in the first round, because we missed on Tyreek Hill, we got everyone hyped up for a wide receiver. We went on selected Donovan Peoples-Jones from Michigan. One of the best young wide receivers in college football right now. Legitimate deep threat at 6. What is he, 6'2"? 6'2" with 92, 93 speed. He is a burner, height, weight, speed type playmaker, which should fit out nicely on the outside as we move Nelson Aguilar back inside into the slot. The rest of the draft wasn't particularly bad. 73 corner. We got a 76 tackle here. Nate Clady, not a real prospect. Star dev, though. 74 safety. 75 left tackle. What's his dev? Just normal? Normal. But all in all, solid draft class. We brought back Carson Wentz. Now, hopefully, the contract is settled. Year 3, Wentz is going to get back to being his MVP form. And we'll be good. Now that all is right in the world with Carson Wentz back on the squad, here's how things are shaping up. Wide receivers stay pretty much the same. Clement's an 86. That's actually been one of the best positive thing about so far is that, hey, if you're playing the Eagles or you just in general need a running back, Corey Clement is a stud. Offensive line, the left-hand side, which is what we've had to replace, is work in progress. From the center to the right, it's elite, all A's. Ertz is a 93. Goddard's an 80. Again, 2 tight ends. This is like, don't be worried, Eagle fans, that you don't see Goddard necessarily performing a whole lot. And if you just do straight sim, it's going to be tough. But when you actually get in and play the games, if you're controlling the Eagles, 2 tight ends are going to be very, very cheesy, and Goddard's going to be OP. Defensively speaking, yeah, we got Rasul Douglas now starting at free safety. No more Rodney McLeod. Jenkins is slowly starting to regress a little bit, but our secondary is dope. Darby's a 90. Jalen Mills is an 85. We have Sidney Jones in the slot. He's an 84. And Derek Burnett will be starting next to the 17-sack monster, Fletcher Cox, as we look to make it 3 straight playoffs. Get another Super Bowl, though. So that is going to be our goal here this year. I'm telling you right now. Now that we got Carson Wentz, make it to the Super Bowl. Mid-season point of year 3, we are 4-2, which is a pretty good spot. Where obviously Cowboys are 5-1 because why not? Cowboys ratings must have got juiced a little bit. Either way, Cowboys are a solid team. It's going to be a nice little race. Looking at what we need to re-sign, we actually have an a bit of cap space. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise that we didn't give like $70 million to Tyreek Hill. And by the way, I was looking, Tyreek Hill accepted a $39 million contract. We're offering him $70. Free agency mechanics could still be better. But anyways, Jason Kelsey, Brandon Brooks, Sidney Jones, Derek Barnett, Rasul Douglas, these guys need to come back. I would love to bring Mac Hollins, who does the back kid dance, back, but ultimately we have to give our money, when you have a tight budget like us, to our guaranteed starters. Finish year 3, back to where we belong. We're in the wild card again. I don't know what we have to do to get a bye, and we're playing the Cowboys, so this is a big-time matchup. 11-5 Eagles, 10-6 Cowboys. We got 1 official 99 now with Fletcher Cox. Wentz is very close with a base of a 97. Another 3rd straight NFC East title, which is a thing of beauty. Looking at our stats, Carson Wentz, that's all right. 4,100 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 picks. That's about as minimum as I would expect and accept from that contract we just gave him. Another 1,000-yard season here for Corey Clement, 8 touchdowns. We got 90 catches, 900 yards, 4 TDs from Ertz, 1,109 from Aguilar, 905 from Alshon, 560 and 6 from Peoples-Jones, 5 touchdowns from Goddard. So I actually like that we're getting the secondary tight end more involved. 116 tackles, 4 picks, 4 sacks from Jordan Hicks. Exceptional. 115 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 2 picks from Bradham. Our linebackers are getting the job done. 13.5 sacks BG, 13.5 sacks Fletcher Cox, 7 from Derek Barnett. All acceptable, and those interception numbers are as well. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP went to Todd Gurley of the Rams, with Carson Wentz coming in at number 9. NFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Todd Gurley, with Carson Wentz at number 5. We got Tua Tagovailoa for the Saints. Okay. Defensive Player of the Year went to Nigel Bradham. Hey, shout out to Nigel Bradham. I don't know why he says his overall is 79 when it's like an 84 or something like that. But hey, Nigel Bradham. Jordan Hicks coming at number 6. We got another big award. We got MVP with Wentz in year 1. Nigel Bradham with a Defensive Player of the Year in year 3. So now we're into the playoffs. Really kind of want to play this game, but it's only year 3 of a 5-year rebuild. So hopefully we can get the job done against Dallas. The guys can get it in. All right, we do not want to lose against Dallas. That is never good for the brand, especially with Carson Wentz coming off that disappointing season last year. We will all be quickly forgotten if he can have a big playoff victory over the Dallas Cowboys at Lincoln Financial Field. And it looks like so far so good, up 10-zip, but we are stalling in the red zone. The last 2 drives, settling for 6 instead of 14. And we were punching it in, though, 21-7 as we get in. 23-7 as we open up the second half. Dallas is able to get a quick touchdown, but it looks like the Eagles might be a little much. But maybe we said that too soon. Dallas now has the lead. Come on. There we go, 38-31. Our defense, we have such a good defense. They're able to tie it up. Come on, we're in overtime. Make the stop. Overtime alert, we need a score. Come on, yes, there you go. Dallas sucks yet again, just to remind every one of you guys, as Carson Wentz, okay, Dak Prescott would never have a game like that, but look at what we did for the Eagles. Why did the Eagles just never have any defense in the playoffs? But 463 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks for Carson Wentz. Looking at our receivers on the day, 10 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns for Aguilar, 10 catches, 150 yards for Alshon. Ertz got 2 touchdowns. Clement of the backfield was effective as the Philadelphia Eagles are moving on to the NFC Divisional. But more importantly, we beat them damn Cowboys. All right, Divisional, we got the Seahawks, who, let's be completely honest, have been a thorn in the side of the Philadelphia Eagles as of late. So we would do our best to stomp them in this game and remind them who the best premier bird team is in the NFC. And this is looking kind of ugly as we're up to a 20-0 lead in the first half, and we're rolling on here again. Oh my God, they just can't do anything. 27-zip, not looking pretty. I'll tell you right now, one thing that I have noticed, even back to Madden 17, is that when you do the sim, the Seahawks, Russell Wilson in particular, never play well. I don't know if it's going to remain this way when we check it. This is going to be a win. But I want to see how many turnovers Russell Wilson has. I always see him having 2 or 3 picks in the playoffs, which is, I don't know what it is, man. Maybe the sim guy just hates the Seahawks. But a very convincing win from the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz has 9 passing touchdowns in 2 games. And there you go, Russell Wilson struggling again, man. He is never doing good in the sim. But I can't complain. Like I said, I want 2 Super Bowls for this rebuild for the Eagles to be successful. We're at 0. We got 3 more chances, including this year. Let's get it. NFC Championship time. Play the winner of the Saints and Falcons. All right, we got the Saints, a rematch from last year's NFC Championship game. They're in the snow. They're a dome team. We should have an advantage, and I say should. But very much like the Seahawks, the Saints have been a team that have been a thorn in the Philadelphia Eagles side, and it looks like we're struggling here a little bit today as they're up right now, and we are not moving the ball particularly well. But all it takes is for us to get a touchdown here to tie this game back up. Low-scoring game. There we go. There's the 10-10, and they turn it over. We got 2 touchdowns in the span of like a minute. That's looking good. Come on, defense. Make the stop. Oh, they went for it on 4th down and got the touchdown. It's not looking good, fellas. End of... Oh, come on. Kick the field goal, tied up. 20-20. Our defense falls flat yet again. Why is we have a 90-something... Man, why doesn't my defense ever play to their ratings? No matter what team I've done, that has been the biggest thing I can say that sucks about the sim, is the sim defense feels like it doesn't matter what their rating is. You can have a 70 overall to a 93 overall defense. They're always going to be piss poor as we get bounced by the Saints yet again. Year 4. All right, well, here's a first. We need to get under the cap. We're $1.23 million over the salary cap right now, which means we can't even begin the season. I'm pretty sure that accounts for like what you got to pay for your draft prospects, which makes sense. So we need to free up $1 million worth of cap somewhere. Now, if this was completely unrealistic, I probably would get rid of Dallas Goedert just because he's never going to play over Zach Ertz, and that would instantly put us there. But I think we're going to have to get rid of the fullback, Mailata. Unfortunately, you know, I do like the dream of having that gigantic rugby player on our roster, but Mailata is way too much salary cap for a guy that's not going to be used. And I think Josh Sweat is going to be the other one. He's just not developing at the pace that we need him to. He's not going to get much snaps, but that will put us, I think, in the green for at least one more year. God, the wheels need to hang on for a little bit. There we go. We're plus 400K in the green. Let's get into the draft. All right, so here is our draft class, which we needed to have a good one because we can't sign anything in free agency, and we had a very decent one. In the first round at pick 29, we got a 79 quick overall defensive end, which we made Micah Parsons from Penn State. We do need to find and prepare for what very well could be Brandon Graham's last season this year. We have no replacement because we had to cut Josh Sweat. So Parsons is not only upgrade over Josh Sweat, but could be his starting replacement. We just got a tackle here, best available player, 75 quick. We got a third-round linebacker, 78 quick, which we made Dorian Etheridge, very talented linebacker on Louisville. Probably like the third best player on Louisville last year, in my opinion. That wasn't Lamar Jackson or Jair Alexander when he was healthy in real life. So we got that. Then we got, 74, 73, and, just a couple flyers here later on. But very solid draft class as we get ready for year 4, where we better get a Super Bowl. All right, so here's how our team is going to shape up as we set our season goal on make it to the Super Bowl, which we haven't even made the Super Bowl yet. We've made a couple NFC championships. Dare we say Doug Peterson is becoming Andy Reid? Who knows? But not a lot has changed on the offensive side. I mean, our offensive line is starting to regress a little bit as they're getting older and the younger guys are developing. We got Wanelgo into the 80s. Ertz is starting to regress. I'm noticing, man, I don't know what happened with the last patch. I'm noticing my players are regressing quicker than before the patch. But yeah, defense, no new starters really of note. Jordan Hicks is developing very nicely. He's up into the 90s. We have the reigning defensive player of the year, Nigel Bradham, here with an 87. Fletcher Cox went from a 98 down to a 96, which kind of stings. Jenkins is regressing. BG is getting regressing. But these guys are getting older, and we can't complain. We have a 91 overall team, 95 offense, 91 defense. So let's get into year 4, where I said at the very beginning, I wanted 2 Super Bowls. Now, to accomplish that, we have to win 2 straight. Mid-season time of year 4, we are 4-2. Big week this week, actually, going up against the 6-1 Chargers. We are tied for first in the NFC East. Very competitive between the Giants and Redskins and ourselves. Looking at contracts, Lane Johnson, Zach Ertz, Alshon, Jernigan. I mean, I don't know how much salary cap we have to work with, but at least these contracts are coming down, right? So let's even get Lane right now. God damn, oh, this is going to be tight. Oh, okay, I can already say right now, these guys are 30. We got some decisions to make, fellas. There's a chance we might only be able to sign 2 of these guys. That could suck. Let's see. If any of these guys will take, like, the base deal. Does Ertz take it? He won't. Oh, man. This is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. All right. Lane Johnson wants to go. How about Zach Ertz? I mean, we do have Dallas Goedert if we have to. Okay, we got Zach Ertz back. What about Alshon? Oh, my God. This is tough. Oh, and down goes another one. Alshon doesn't want to come back. Okay. I guess Timmy Jernigan, last but not least. Oh, my God, man. Gonna be signing some of these dudes. All right, so we walked away with Tim Jernigan and Zach Ertz, and I'm not going to lie, I'm going to have to find a way to, at minimum, be able to retain Lane Johnson. I think with Aguilar playing at the level he is, with the good tight ends, Alshon, I don't think he's gone over 1,000 yards. He's replaceable, but Lane Johnson's not. End of year 4. That was not very fun in terms of contract negotiations, but our team is good. We got a first-round bye finally. We finished 14-2 in the NFC, which was a very competitive NFC. Giants and Redskins both getting 10 wins. Looking at the regular season stats, Carson Wentz, 4,100 yards, 35 touchdowns to 11 picks. That's kind of what we're expecting out of him. Around the ball, 1,200 yards, 9 TDs from Clement. Panning out very much. Receiving, we got 83 catches, 1,100 yards, 10 TDs from Aguilar, who, let's be honest, I think we're going to lose Alshon. Aguilar needs to step up. Ertz, we're able to re-sign him, 908. Peoples-Jones, 504, 380, and 4 from Corey Clement. Defensive side of things, we got 118 tackles, 5.5 sacks, and a pick from Bradham, 7 sacks, 2 picks, and 100 tackles from Hicks. I don't know where these linebackers are getting their sacks from, but I'll take it. 10 sacks from Fletcher Cox, 9 from Brandon Graham, 7.5 from Derek Barnett, and we got 4 picks from Darby, 2 from Hicks, 2 from Mills, 2 from Sidney Jones. Year of the awards, very quickly, MVP went to Deshaun Watson. Carson Wentz was number 3. Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC went to Blake Bortles, who's now a member of the Giants. No, don't think so. Carson Wentz at number 5. Defensive Player of the Year went to Nigel Bradham for back-to-back years in the NFC, the Defensive Player of the Year. That's awesome. Jordan Hicks at number 6. Rookies, I don't think we had anyone. Maybe defense, we could have got lucky. Micah Parsons at number 10. So we are 14-2. So we are now awaiting whatever opponent is going to be our victim, because we have to almost win the Super Bowl this year because we're losing a lot of turnover and talent. So I'm actually going to play. I'm going to pop a bear, which means we're going to play the moments, and then when things get nonsense, like we just can't score in the red zone, we'll pop in. First up in the divisional round is the 11-5 Atlanta Falcons. Let's go. Let's dominate the Falcons. I don't feel like I should have to come in. We are a 94 overall team, goddammit. Big field goal here. Oh, I'm going for the touchdown on the 8-yard line, 4th and 2. There's a reason why they call him Big Balls Doug. Now, I haven't played Madden in a little bit. It's been a hot minute, actually. So I probably should not be doing this, but I'm going for it anyways. Saying Corey Clement in motion out the backfield. We got Ertz and Jeffrey. Or we could just take off with Carson Wentz because he's a savage. And we get the 2-score lead. 14-zip. Carson Wentz doesn't celebrate because he's a good old boy. 14-zip. Philadelphia Eagles looking to make it, what, third straight NFC Championship game. The red zone. Come on, punch it in. There we go. We missed the field goal, or the extra point, which is mildly frustrating. But we look like we're being, fairly comfortable right now. Even though the game's not blowing out the water. We have, oh my God. Come on. Just get out. Get out. Fuck's sakes, man. Finish a game. For God's sakes, finish a game. Red zone. I'm going to let you go. You better do this yourself. And we didn't. Fuck this fucking team. All right, so because we tagged Lane Johnson, we're now $4.6 million under the cap, which means here's what's going to happen. Basically, either Sidney Jones or Jalen Mills needs to get cut. It's got to be Jalen Mills, unfortunately. And Malcolm Jenkins retired this year as well. That's another awesome thing that had happened after we didn't make the Super Bowl. Our final draft class turned out to be just solid, which has been all of our draft classes. We haven't had any like, oh my God, that's the best draft class of all time, but we got a couple of decent players. 73, we got a 76 normal linebacker, 74 safety, normal, 75 star linebacker Mustafa Kalu. But for the most part, I think you could say that this was an average draft class, but we got Lane Johnson back, and we still have a really good team. I fully expect us to have at least one more opportunity to win a Super Bowl. Year 5, did not think this would be a Super Bowl or bust time, but I guess, there's probably something in the coding that makes the Eagles suck dick in this game. I don't know. So we're going to go Super Bowl. We got a point to spend here. No more Alshon Jeffrey at wide receiver, so we're going with the Donovan Peoples-Jones, Nelson Aguilar era for Carson Wentz. The offensive line is still holding up pretty well. We lost Dallas Goedert because we have no salary whatsoever. Defensively, we go Sidney Jones, Ronald Darby, as we just straight up gave the free agency market, and what was he? I think Jalen Mills was an 88. He was 28. Free corner there. Why not? I will say the biggest disappointment, without a doubt, is Cam Smith. He was only going up 2 points in like 3 years. We still have an 89 defense, 93 offense, 89 overall, which is really, really good. So I would definitely expect double-digit wins this season. But like I said, I don't know, man. I thought for sure this Eagles team would have more than just hopefully one Super Bowl within 5 years in them. A little bit disappointed by that, but still, we gotta get at least one Super Bowl in. So let's get it. All right, year 5, end of year 5 is here, and we back-to-back 14-2 seasons for the Philadelphia Eagles. Not surprised. Something that would be interesting is comparing where we started off from the Super Bowl run to where our team is now. I'm going to say, well, obviously on the offensive line, we still have 3 of the starters, so I'm not expecting them. But Lane Johnson, I actually think, is +1, so we're further ahead on one of these guys. We have a better left guard. We have a worse left tackle. Ertz is still the same, so it is kind of hard to compare. Like, say if we're ahead of behind where we started out, because we still have some of these players. But, I mean, we're better at running back. Clement's a 91. We started out with Ajay, who's an 86. Wentz was, 87? Now he's a perfect 99. Definitely want to welcome Carson Wentz to the 99 club properly. We have Aguilar, who's a 94. We have Peoples-Jones, who is an 88. So this would have been Alshon, who's 91, so we're further ahead there. And this would have been Aguilar, who starts out as an 84. So we're better at wide receiver. Maybe not as much depth, but better for the starters. And defensively speaking, Fletcher Cox is better than what he was. Brandon Graham's still the same guy, but he's a downgrade. Derek Burnett is +2 over Michael Bennett, who started out as an 88. Darby's a 93. Sidney Jones is a 91. Beautiful. Rasul Douglas is now a higher overall than Roddy McLeod. We have Jordan Hicks. Bradham, same overall. So really, we only have we have more positives than negatives. We'll just leave it at that. We're starting with a 95 offense, 91 defense. That's roughly where the Philadelphia Eagles were starting out at as well. So we are going to find out who we are playing in the divisional round. And it is the 9-7 Giants. And even I'm a little bit worried when I see a terrible New York Giant team scraping into the playoffs, because you know that that's when they're going to be destined to have a legit run. I need to win the Super Bowl here, so we're going to be playing these damn games. And I'm going to bring home the second Super Bowl to the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, here we go. Opening drive of the game against the Giants. 2nd and 1, we're on the 8. It's just been a methodical drive, working it down, play actions, finding our tight ends, simple throws, just like that. Very nice touchdown, Mr. Peoples-Jones. Oh, let's go, Carson Wentz. Oh, Zach Ertz got to get in there. Wentz has been lethal, 7 of 8, 128 yards and a touchdown, and Ertz has been his go-to. Let's see if we can get a little Corey Clement action. Get that Clement Honda out there. 1st and goal on the 1. C4 special. I trust Clement. Trust the process with him at running back. He's paid me back in full. And there you go. To get the lead once again. Corey Clement, touchdown. Why does he throw up the X, though? Come on. Oh, let's go, Nelly Eggs. Nelson Aguilar. I'm going to give me a shout there for just seeing the blitz and telling Corey Clement to stay in and block. Beautiful. Oh, right there. Oh. Out here, 3rd and 8 in the red zone, trying to pretty much put this game out of reach. Oh, there we go. We fired in. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 2nd touchdown of the game. This Giants defense, bunch of scrubs. Oh, there we go. Zach Ertz. Fight your way in. Oh, that's one thing about Zach Ertz. He's a little soft. The Giants got like an instant TD, so we're still not completely out of the woods here yet, but a touchdown here would definitely do that. So we're 1st and goal on the 28. Would like to see a little more fight out of Zach Ertz there to fight for the touchdown, but it is what it is, and that's a pick. Threw that. I knew as soon as I threw that was going to be a pick. And just like that, victory formation, as we're able to see this one out. Still very competitive game, as you would expect, between the Eagles and the Giants. 28-20, your Philadelphia Eagles have been able to manage them off. Perfect game from Carson Wentz. Ertz was a machine, just converting. We got 2 touchdowns from Peoples-Jones. Corey Clement he tickled with 100 yards on the day, as Wentz was perfect, going up against legendary quarterback Blake Bortles. We are now back in the NFC Championship game yet again. All right, here we got 3rd and 9 on the 23-yard line, down 7-zip early against the Atlanta Falcons. This Eagles team, I don't know, man. I feel like they're going to make it tough for us to win a Super Bowl here, but we're going to try, as that play was dead from the beginning, and we're going to have to settle for a field goal. Heaven forbid any of these 90 overall wide receivers get some separation, you know? Oh, come on, Nelly. Come on, Nelly. Nelly, make that play. You're a 94 overall wide receiver, man. A 99 quarterback thrown over a 94 overall wide receiver, and you can't complete that pass when you get the extra stuff. Oh, he's wide open. There we go. Peoples-Jones, baby. Moving the chains. We're pressing. All right, here we go. 3rd and 7 from the 13-yard line. I'm finding it pretty easy to believe that Carson Wentz is self-sabotaging this. 99 overall quarterback. He's missed a lot of bad passes right there. He got the jump. Come on! Complete the pass. Perfect pass. Who is this bum that's covering him? Des Trufant, 70 overall right now. Oh, my God, man. Okay, I'll take back the rage on that. Trufant's good. Trufant's good. Still frustrating that they can't connect on that, though. Okay, he beat his man. Oh, my God. We completed a deep pass. Go buy a lottery ticket, everybody. We completed a deep pass where our wide receiver got the edge. 2nd and 5 on the 10. Looking for a touchdown here. Oh, my God. We fitted in. Zach Ertz, great route. You're not going to put Devondre Campbell on Zach Ertz. That's going to be a matchup we'll pay attention to. All right, we're 1st and goal on the 3 to try to tie this game up. I don't know what is going on in this rebuild, man. Post the first patch that they brought out, this gameplay or whatever has definitely taken a step back. But, all right. Maybe they saw that I won 2 Super Bowls in 3 rebuilds. So let's make it difficult. We get the touchdown to tie it up. Oh, look, another drop. Cool. Can't make a contested catch. Hey, what's our wait, give me a sec. What's my quarterbacks overall real quick? Just want to see. Is there any way to like double check? Let's go in the depth chart here. Quarterbacks, he's an up-and-comer. Oh yeah, that's an overall of an up-and-comer that can't complete a pass over 20 yards consistently. Okay. All right, final play of the game, 4th and 25. Not gonna lie, really don't want to be playing Madden right now at all. Very frustrating. Step up in the pocket. Anyone want to get open? Oh my God. Well, that's the rebuild of the Philadelphia Eagles, everybody. Let's just blame it on the ratings guy that made the a team that has a dip below like a 90 overall. They just turned into Andy Reid being their coach. I guess it's that's how it's gonna go. So yeah, we went to what 5 years. Went to 4 NFC Championship games. Carson Wentz played very average throughout the sim, and I've seen literally every time that we've not been Carson Wentz, he's like, he's setting up like Hall of Fame numbers. So, we did the Browns rebuild. We found out with Baker Mayfield that Wentz was going off every single game, and for us, it's convenient. Let's just say it's that way. It's convenient that as soon as like I decide to play with the Eagles, Carson Wentz, regresses to be an average quarterback. Now I don't know if something behind the scenes went on when he was at 86 Wentz. He played lights out. Now that we had this first little simulation with the 87 Wentz from the updated rosters, he was bang on above average outside of the one MVP season he had year one. The biggest takeaway is, I'm gonna say, as much as I think the sim has improved offensively, like you're not seeing the outrageous amount of rushing attempts that you saw years past, doesn't matter how good your defense is. I will say that. I can say that with great conviction. We have put out 95 overall defenses, 94s, 93. Everything has been at least a 90 plus defense. And when you look at that at the base ratings in this game, that is like a top 2 defense. Doesn't matter. You will still see the defense give up 5 passing touchdowns. We saw how many times? 3 games throughout our playoff runs. We have seen our spectacular defense give up 5+ passing touchdowns to the opposing team's quarterback. Not gonna stop whatever. It's scripting. Scripting still exists. It's frustrating. I know that, obviously in the moment right now, I'm very, very irritated by the fact that my 99s weren't playing like 99s. I guess it throws it up to the fact that, this is still early in the rebuilds and I don't have proper sliders. And I'll tell you right now, I'm doing the Eagles again. I'm taking this L right now. It'll officially go as an L, but I'm doing the Eagles again because there's no reason why the best roster in the game should struggle this much in a simulation format to get over the hump. But, it is what it is. I always got to win the Super Bowl. This now brings us 2 Super Bowl or 2 successful rebuilds, 2 bad rebuilds. I hope you guys did enjoy this, minus my frustrations. Very irritable today in general, and it reflected in the Madden sim. Thank you guys for watching, though, the newest episode of the Realistic Rebuilds. I bet you didn't see this coming. I bet you guys saw I was going to win 9 Super Bowls with the Philadelphia Eagles, so at least it's a little interesting. So, as always, guys, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment in the comment section below what team you want to see me rebuild next. There's no chance in hell I am doing a career mode with Carson Wentz or anyone on this Eagle save. This Eagle save is cursed. I'm deleting it off my hard drive as soon as I upload this. I will be doing another Eagles rebuild later on in the process to come back and reattempt it because I feel like I didn't do it justice. So I guess maybe this video is kind of positive because I got another video that I can create out of it. But thank you guys for watching, and until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.
Why you all about my business? Yeah, I've been working hard, always keeping to myself. Why you acting like a witness? Man, trying to get a piece once I'm getting all the